Hey, what's up, guys? It's me again, and welcome back to my channel, Mayta What Ifs. Today, I am back with a new story. The name of this story is What If Naruto Left Konoha with his family and started a new village? And yeah, guys, it is an unscripted story and my own idea. And before continuing this, yeah, I am so sorry I was not able to upload yesterday. I had made video for Apollo Chiha. I thought that maybe I will be able to get back in time to make a video for Mayta What If as well, but I got back so late that I didn't even have the time to edit the one that I made for the Polo Uchiha. So yeah, that is the reason why I couldn't upload yesterday. So from now on, I'm gonna do one thing, and that is work one step ahead and make sure I have videos prepared and uploaded and scheduled beforehand. And that is what I'm gonna do. So yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my Polo Uchiha channel as well. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato. One day after the kyubi attack, as we go towards the hospital room where we see Kushina, Minato, and their son, Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto was asleep, who was born one day before on the night of the kyubi attack, while Minato and Kushina, they were glad that they were able to survive that attack, but also able to save their village, as currently they were smiling and looking down at Naruto with amazed filled eyes. I can't believe it, Kushina. Our son. He's our son, our child. I know, Minato. I'm I'm to be honest quite scared and excited. I know. So am I. We're gonna be great parents, Kushina, you and me. I know, Minato. I know. As this sweet moment was interrupted as the door slammed open, and there stood Hiruzen. He was panting heavily and had a dreadful expression on his face. Minato, Kushina, thank God here you are. There's a mob outside your home, and they're demanding something. Demanding what? You see, the information was leaked that your son is the Jinchuriki now. What? But how? We don't know. I think that it has something to do with the council. Maybe the elders, one of them did it. But why? Why would they do this? And why are the mob gathered there even? Said Kushina. They're demanding for the execution of your son. What? Said Minato. He was shocked. Why would they ask of such a thing? Well, that is why a council meeting has been called, and you two are called there. As Kushina picked up her child and got off the bed that she was resting on, she stumbled a bit as both Hiruzen and Minato dashed, as Kushina then said, I'm fine. You're not fine, you're still recovering, Kushina. Said Hiruzen, I know, Hiruzen-sama, but I am fine. For my child, I am always fine and have to be strong enough. And that is why I need to do this. Let's go, Minato. And so, both of them arrived, with a confused yet serious expression, inside the council chamber. As Minato took the seat, we see that Kushina was seated next to the shinobi side. And that is when they noticed that the shinobi council members, their own friends, then moved immediately away to the civilian side, as Kushina's eyes widened, as they were not even looking in the eyes of both of them. This meeting is in session, said Minato. And first of all, I would like to ask this question. Why did you all guys get up and leave Kushina over there? It's nothing personal, Kushina. Minato. It's just that we're afraid of the kid. I mean, it has been never done before. In Konoha history, that a child who was born was made into a Jinchuriki. And especially the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. As after that we see, that is when Minato then stood up. But the seal is powerful and was the one that was created by Mito-sama and perfected by Kushina. You don't need to worry about anything. The same was said when Kushina was made the Jinchuriki by Mito-sama, and yet catastrophe struck, said Shikaku Nara as he stood up. Look, I'm not saying that Uzumakis are liars or your seal won't work, but the thing is that there is always a possibility, and what happened yesterday night, it is only a miracle that we're all here and standing. Even if it is thanks to you, Minato, you know that, right? Yes. Alright then, now that is out of the way, next thing I want to ask is, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you asking for the execution of my son? Okage-sama, to be honest, this is a perfect opportunity for us to get rid of the kyubi, said one of the civilian members. And you guys agree with that, said Kushina. as the others look down in shame. I can't believe this. They agreed to it. Well, tough luck. Not gonna happen. He's an Uzumaki clan member, and you think that Kushina you can afford, being the only Uzumaki clan member at the time, to have many of us clans as your enemies? Did you just threaten my wife, Hiyashi? Said Minato as he stood up. No, I'm not threatening, I'm just proving a point. She is a clan member and a clan here, but the clan is already extinct. You do know what my village has done for this, right? My clan possess their own village and has given so many artifacts and sealed to this village, and if I leave, I'll take them with me. Then please do, because we can't tolerate this. This disrespect towards us. We have put our own work and have lost good men yesterday night, Kushina. We, to be honest, can't fathom that for all that bullshit, Minato is still with you. What? Said Minato as he stood up. Hiyashi, you're crossing the line. She needs to listen to this. What is she so prideful of? The clan that ceased to exist? What is she gonna take? Seals? Barrier seals? Is that all? As that is when Hiruzen and Danzo intervened. You don't know, but your clan ancestors took a huge amount of loan as well from them, Hiyashi. If she decides she can cut your wealth down, at least up to 80%, it's impossible. Go and check your records. Then we'll talk. You say Uzumakis haven't done anything. They have done one thing, and that is to help out a lot and make treaties and documents. Most of the clans here are the ones that are to pay me and my clan. And if you pay me, I will leave. Because I, to be honest, can't fathom that this village, who hates my child and are wishing for its execution just only one day after it was born, I don't want him to grow up here. And I doubt that Minato would as well. Yes, then you can leave. What? Said Minato as he looked towards Danzo. The whole council has agreed upon this, because we knew that you were not going to do this and we had decided this. This is a letter from Daimyo. We have gotten it signed yesterday. You are to seize over your position as the Hokage and take all your assets and leave. But that will put my clan in a lower case, said Hiyashi. Huh. Well, you should be careful what you wish for, Hiyashi. You wanted them gone, now they are gone. But in the end you have to suffer. As now we see, within a week, all of the assets of Uzumaki clan were given. The barrier seals on the outside and all the Fuinjutsu arts were given. And not only that, even the scrolls of the Senjus and the Uzumakis that were created were given, the Harshin technique and the others. The daimyo made sure, since his wife was an Uzumaki, that the Konoha was abstained from using each and every one of their jutsus, and even Danzo and his root base and everyone was searched, and many of the Uzumaki scrolls were even recovered, which pissed Danzo off because this was not a part of his plan. But he should have been careful since he knew who he was dealing with. After all of this, we see Minato and Kushina with their child standing outside of Konoha. Well, this is it, Kushina. We're about to leave our home. That place was not home as soon as they decided to turn against our child. I know. So where are we gonna go? To be honest, I don't know, as that is when we see the toad appeared in front of Minato. What is it, Fukusaka-sama? I have heard from Monkey King that you are leaving this village. Yes, they're asking for my child's execution. What? That is insane, by even their standards. Jiraiya is pissed at what you have done, though, and the whole council as well. He has convinced them that you are the one who betrayed us. What? Sensei did? As Kushina placed a hand on Minato's shoulder. Yes, Minato. He has done this because he is angry with you, from what I can tell. So, the clan has decided that we are not going to be your summoning clan anymore. I see. Thank you for letting me know, Kusaka-sama, and thank you for everything you and your clan has done for me. Look, Minato, we don't hate you, but we have made our loyalty with Konoha. You know that, right, when you joined the clan? Yes, I know. I'm sorry, son. I hope the best for you and your wife and child. Thank you, Fukusaka-sama, said Minato and Kushina, as after that Fukusaka left with a sad expression, as Minato was also left with a sad one, because the person he considered his father was also mad at him for not executing his own child. As that is when Minato and Kushina decided to leave 2 days later, we see that Minato was not able to sleep for 2 days straight. As Kushina noticed that as Naruto was resting while they were traveling to find a place to settle down. And so they decided to talk. Minato, your health, it's not gonna work out if you keep on doing this to yourself. I gave them everything I had. All those years of hard work. And then me acting as a Kage, trying my best to save them. All for what? For them to demand my own child's execution? I was a fool, Kushina. I was a fool to believe in everyone. You were right. I trust people too blindly. Yeah, things like that happen, Minato. But we still have one another, don't we? We have Naruto to take care of. For his sake, we need to better ourselves and settle down somewhere safe. Where, Kushina, that is the thing. You know, I always wanted to visit my home place once more, but it's in ruins. Who knows, maybe there is some buildings that are still intact, and maybe with the help of some shadow clones we might be able to rebuild it. You think so? Yeah, and there the barrier is still in place. We can reuse that barrier and make it our home even more protective. And then we will live there. You're right. You're right about that, Kushina. I didn't thought for a moment about that. And so now we see Minato and Kushina decided to move towards Uzushio Gakure. Once they arrived there, they noticed that there were a few buildings that were still intact while the others were turned into ruins. I can't believe the Uzumaki used the Fuinjutsu arts on even these buildings to make them look as they are. Well, wanna see something? As Kushina pumped her chakra into one of the seals, the building with a few of the skirmishes and crack marks then began to repair itself. See? I told you this would work out. As it was a two-story home that was made out of blocks and cement, and it was quite sturdy and strong and completely packed with seals which were protective as well as regenerative. It will be perfect. Our new perfect home. As after that we see time begin to pass by as Naruto and his family settled in. As Naruto began to grow up, Minato and Kushina knew they had to work. Even with all the money, they need to buy some supplies and to work. So they developed a technique since now they had all the time in the world and made up two blood clones that acted as Naruto's parents while they were out there making sure they were getting all the necessary things needed for their family to grow. As they once they returned, the clones would give their memories back to Naruto if they were gone for a longer period of time. I mean, to them if they were gone for a longer period of time. And so in this way Naruto was beginning to raise and train under them. But surely enough, once Naruto reached at the age of 8, he began to notice that not only his family was the one left alone in this whole village, but now there were a lot of few other homes. Surprisingly enough, there wasn't some of the Uzumakis who have returned as well, such as Nagato Uzumaki and Konan, his friend. And then there was, well, the girl that his mother rescued. Her name was Karin Uzumaki as well. And then there were the people that his father brought from Land of Waves after defeating a tyrant there. So in this way, slowly but surely, a village was building there. As that is when the people there decided with Minato that Minato should be the leader of the village and the first Kage. And they need to decide upon the name since they are now in more population and were now up to 150 people there. As that is when Naruto jokingly said, "How about Neo-Uzushio Gakure? Since we live in Uzushio Gakure." As Kushina was quite happy with that name. And the others, they kind of knew what that name meant for Kushina, and that is why they accepted it. And in the end, we see the name was selected. As Minato then said, "But we still have to remain hidden." Why is that, Minato-sama? Because we are a small bunch of people, and if others find out, they might try to get over this land because now it is officially ours. Because I have gotten the documents from the Land of Fire Daimios on my last visit. This is officially our home now, our own village, Neo-Uzushio Gakure. As after that we see time begin to pass by as Naruto's training began. Naruto turned out to be a much more bigger prodigy than ever, and since he was beginning to train with Karin as well and the other kids, the shinobis that grew up there learned the traditional Uzumaki sword style as well as the Fuinjutsu arts, and then they finally began to learn their own fighting style as well as ninjutsus. Since they had all the time in the world and were not preparing for a war or any sort of that mess. They had the freedom of experiment, and because of that, like the old generations, they were able to unlock new techniques as well as new abilities with the help of ninjutsu. So much so that they were already at par with Minato and the other shinobis who were at least up to Kage level there, and they were all impressed. As one day Naruto decided to use the summoning technique as his father was telling him about the stories to see which clan he would summon. As there was a huge puff of smoke, as Karin and the other friends of Naruto were there, as instead of anything there stood Phoenix, a bright phoenix that stood there. His feathers and tail feathers were on flames as the phoenix looked down with its amber eyes. Who has summoned me? It is me. What are you? I am a phoenix from the Phoenix Summoning Clan. My name is Rao. And why have you summoned me? Or how were you able to summon me? I just used this traditional summoning technique. I see, so people still use that, huh? Well, child, lucky for you, I am searching for a summoner, and I have vowed to myself that the person next that summons me will be my summoner. Is that it? No test? No. The test has been already conducted and fulfilled. You see, we Phoenix have a great quality, and that is to see his person's soul through their eyes. And yours is quite pure one, child. As that is when the Phoenix touched Naruto, as Naruto was engulfed in flames, but not him being burnt or anything. These flames were warm until a marking flame mark appeared on Naruto's forehead. As that is when Naruto was quite shocked. What is this? This mark is a proof that you are a part of the Phoenix Summoning Clan. And if now you train hard enough and become one with nature and fire, you too shall be reborn as Phoenix. As after hearing this, we see the Phoenix disappeared, as a feather of its remained. As this was surprisingly seen by the Jonins there, such as Zabuza Momochi, who has recently joined the village since he was on the run, alongside with his daughter son Haku, who was Naruto's best friend. Naruto, are you okay? I am fine, Haku. Karin, it's just weird. I I don't feel anything different. Of course, you idiot, you wouldn't feel any different. The Phoenix goddamn said that you need to train first. Oh, yeah, you're right about that, Karin. Oh my god, I'm gonna explain this to Kushina-sama. She's gonna kill me. Of course she's not gonna do that. Yeah, why would Kushina-sama do that? Asked Haku. As that is when we see, cut to the dinner time, Kushina was downright pissed, as the three of them were now quite scared. As Minato then calmed them down, and was quite happy for Naruto, at the same time surprised. I never would have thought that you would have come across Phoenix, Naruto. Of all the ancient beings, Phoenix, who knew they were real? Yeah, even I was surprised. Well, we're grateful that he made you a summoner without any harm or any test. Yeah, yeah, I am grateful. As that is when Minato's thought went to his own summoning clan and to his, well, sensei, who hated him. While back in Konoha, many things began to change for the said village. It became much more arrogant. Since Hiruzen decided he doesn't want to become a Hokage, Danzo did. And once Danzo became the fifth, he, Jiraiya, as well as Hiruzen always clashed with one another, and because of that, Jiraiya decided to get up and leave, leaving with his spy network and resigning from the village shinobi post. As he done so, we see that Danzo and Konoha suffered greatly because now they were broke. Way too much broke because the Uzumakis had great influence over them, and since the beginning of the village until now they had great amount of money to give, which daimyo made them pay even the last down drop to the penny that they needed, and after only that did they leave. And not only that, the whole village was quite, well, divided on this now. They have found out that Minato and Kushina have been working as mercenaries for different villages like Kumo, even as well as Kiri, and then even like Suna. And surprisingly enough, Minato and Kushina have also helped out in the rebel war in Kiri and have made themselves quite allies with them. And this pissed Konoha off to no end. They were the top-notch Konoichi and shinobi of Konoha, and yet they were now siding with a village like Kiri of all the things. We need to find them and bring them back. What about the child? If it is the child of theirs, as they say, then bring him back as well. He will be a great asset. But if not, then kill it, because the kyubi is no longer necessary. It was supposed to be a tool. And now we can use it, right? Of course we can. But we don't need to make a statement. We are more than enough as it is. You're right about that, Danzo. You're right about that. As now we see, a group of shinobis were sent to track down Minato, and they were successful as they followed him down from the guild that gave out the request all the way back to his home. It's Uzushio Gaku's barrier. He's inside it. But that is when they noticed that Minato wasn't alone. Following him was another man with silver hair, as he was standing there as Minato arrived and brought him in. As now we go towards Minato. Minato, while returning from the guild after completing another mission, was quite shocked when he found out that he was being followed by a familiar chakra. It was his sensei. As soon as he arrived back, we see that Minato then entered the barrier. Once Jiraiya stood there, he was quite shocked and baffled that what happened, until Minato dragged him in. As he then said, "What the hell do you want, sensei?" "Well, I wanted to meet you." "Is it hard for a sensei to meet a student now?" "Tell me honestly, why are you here, sensei?" "I left the village." "So?" "Well, I left for you." "I don't believe it." "You wanted me to kill my child, and if I didn't, you basically kicked me out of the only place that I called home and family." "You know how I felt back then? I was pissed at you, kid, for making such an irrational decision about my son's life. That you call irrational decision? Look, Jiraiya, I don't know what you came here searching for, but you're not gonna find it here. The old me is gone. The old Minato that was gullible, as well as the one that you could control by manipulating his emotions, is gone. I'm not the same person anymore. Nor do I need to be. I guess thank you for making this happen, because now I'm finally free from the shackles of Konoha and of yours." As after that, Minato kicked him out of the set seal, and that is when Jiraiya tried to get him back, but he didn't. "Minato, wait, please, listen." But he didn't. So only a person from within can take us there. We have to return back and warn this to Hokage-sama and the others. As this was going on, we see that Naruto, in the meantime, was doing one more thing. He liked to experiment a lot, so he was currently seated and was now working on the seal from within. "Why are you doing this again, Brad? I told you I'll free you. In return, you will have to teach me since you're 1,000 years old. I know you would have learned quite a lot." "Of course I know such thing, but it will kill you if you do this, right?" I'm trying to find a way to if it doesn't kill me. Wait, if it threatens my life, you have to stop. That is what we agreed on, right?" "Yes, I know." As now we see, Kyubi or Kurama was looking at Naruto, who was currently working on a seal that will alter the seal that was placed on him, and instead of killing him, will be able to free Kyubi. He has already worked on a seal and placed it on the Kyubi so that it was not to be able to be put under Genjutsu by any dojutsu whatsoever, even by the legendary Rinnegan itself. Thanks to his Nagato Nisan having one, he was able to learn the aspects of the dojutsu and was able to counter it. As Kurama could still remember the first time the kid came at the age of 10, and instead of being scared or demanding, he was quite surprised and was quite excited in order to meet him, and even called him a downright legend. Him being a foxly in nature obviously took those as compliments, but he knew something was wanted by the kid, and it was revealed in the most shocking way once Kyubi asked, bearing its fang. Naruto wanted knowledge and learned from him, if anything else, and that in itself was something that Kyubi had never ever thought about. That a Genin would want, of all the things. Knowledge? Learning? From him? Who would have thought? People would have demanded power or him to hand over his chakra. But no, Naruto was different. He wanted to learn. And Naruto was working already on a seal to free him. He was, one could say, a good child, and a hard-working one. "It's alright, Naruto. You don't need to do it." "What? Why?" "I'm gonna help you out, Kurama-san. I told you already." First, at least let me teach you, then you can. Wait, really? Yes, I've decided to teach you first. Okay, I guess. But I won't stop working until the seal is open. Then you have the will and freedom to leave anytime you want. As Kurama then decided to smile. Fine, kid. And so Naruto was finally able to open the seal as the seal gates disappeared, but Kurama remained within him. Alright then, it's time for our lessons. As time began to pass by, we see that Naruto's age began to grow, while Konoha tried to decipher of how to get in. And in the end, they were able to find a way thanks to their allies, which were quite unusual. Eva. Because Eva hated Minato more than anything, Danzo decided to take them on his side. And so once he did, Eva and Konoha for the first time joined their hands together to defeat this village. But they did not know what was waiting for them. As the army surrounded the small village, we see that the other three remained away. Why? Because they were neutral. But they were quite fearful that what will happen to the Neo-Uzushio Gakure since they had good relations with the village because Suna as well as Kumo and Kiri had, especially Kiri, had great relations. Kiri even wanted to go to war with the other two, but Uzushio Gakure denied this by saying that they needed to work on themselves right now, and Uzushio Gakure will handle this matter. And once the hell broke loose as the Bijus even descended, they were quite shocked to find out that the Chakra Bijudamas that they launched were bounced back and into their own armies, causing great destruction and havoc amongst them. Until we see a huge visage appear from within, as the fox was standing there in its all glory and whatnot. Aside from the horror on the face of Konoha Shinobi and of Iwa's, we see that one bunch of group of people were quite excited, the Akatsuki. But once they tried to intervene and use Genjutsu, they noticed that it wasn't working. It's not working. What? Try again, Obito. It's not working, Zetsu. Something is up. As kyubi smirked, it's not working because I am placed and marked with a seal that prevents any dojutsu for working on me ever again. And this sent chills down everyone's spine. The kyubi was now not controllable, and now they were to face the strongest Biju in the history of the elemental nation, all by themselves. But they weren't alone, as Minato arrived there wearing the Uzushio dress, and he wasn't alone as well. Nagato Uzumaki was also there, and so was Kushina. And then there was their son Naruto. As Naruto then said, well, let's get on with it. As the family then used a new set of kunais that were looking like dagger knives as they threw them everywhere. And what Eva felt was a next level of PTSDs because this was flying Raijin technique taken up at least 100,000 up a notch because they were nothing more than yellow and red blurs, blazing past by an army of thousands and cutting them down instantly until the army's number within only a few minutes were cut down from thousands all the way down to a few hundred. And the Jinchurikis who were being manipulated and controlled were freed, and so were the Bijus. That is when Kurama spoke to them, and immediately the Bijus changed their sides and were now against the villages that attacked them. Especially the kidnapped ones like Fu, the Seven Tails, the Five Tails, and the Four Tails. And even the the Eight Tail Slug. Six Tail Slug. As this was going on, we see that Kumo and Kumo, Kiri, and Suna were quite amazed as how the battle tides were changed by a small village, and they were grateful for the first time that they were allied to them. As now we see, after the defeat, a humiliating defeat to Konoha, a village of thousands of shinobi, by only a village with 500 people within it, and not all of them are shinobis as well. And of Eva, it was decided that the sixth elemental nation should be formed. And since Minato and Kushina had a lot of money, they decided that Kushina should become the daimyo of the said land. And so she did, while Minato became the first Kage of the Neo-Uzushio Gakure, while Naruto, their son, was going to become a king in the future of the said village. And soon enough, the people and the merchants, after it became official, began to go there as well. And after a tight security check and the seal security check, it was decided that who was allowed to let in and who wasn't. Spies were easily marked out, and they, no matter how hard they tried, were not able to get in. And in the end, as time went by, as Naruto began to grow up, he and Karin fell in love, but not alone, as the others from other villages also fell in love with Naruto because Naruto has made a lot of friends in the meantime, such as Gaara, as well as Sabuko's sibling, who was now the Kazekage, as well as Ryushito and the others from Kumo. And then from Kiri, it was quite obvious that Mei's little sister was also interested in Naruto, but Naruto and Karin fell in love, so it was decided that he should marry. But the other nations intervened and decided that Naruto needs to be placed into CRA because he's the last of the Uzumaki clan and they needed political alliances and through marriage. And it was decided that if Karin was to be the first wife, the others could be his second, third, and fourth one. And Naruto was to be placed in CRA. And so each girl was selected from different villages. Mei's little sister was selected from Kiri, while from Kumo it was Yujito. And as from Suna, it was Temari. As this was going on, Konoha's situation got so worse that in the end, Daimyo decided to abandon them because his own wife was an Uzumaki. And she was pissed at the people of trying to defile her home for the second time. They're her own allies. And the budget was cut down completely, and Danzo was left to ruin the village as people turned on him and the elders now. Why? Because he was the one who made those decisions that has been worst for them. As Jiraiya saw his own village crumble in front of his own eyes. The legacy of his sensei and of those of first and the second, and of even of his own student who hated him now because of the things that they have done, all crumble down to this. Konoha, once considered the powerful titan in the elemental nation, was now brought down to nothing more than just a wounded wolf pup without its fangs, as now it was dying because of its own grateful people and resentful ones. All the while back in Eva, the situation wasn't any better. Oniki was executed by his own granddaughter because he was still pushing for war even after the death and massacre of what has happened. Eva people finally found it hard to believe that their village had lost, but they knew why. Because those villagers had more than enough strength, and the fact that true behind the Uzumaki's was revealed that it was their own village, their own people, and their own Kage who have done this and participated in this. All out of spite because the damn village was made of Uzumaki clan and they wanted to raid it for their money and for their resources so that Konoha couldn't succeed. And because of these crimes, they were executed. All the while, Kiri, Kumo, and Suna and Neo-Uzushio Gakure rose to power and became the next four elemental nations, while the two others were defeated. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this story off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And follow me on my Polo Uchiha channel as well. As this is it for the day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.